This corresponds to the creation of interfaces. These interfaces streamline complexities to facilitate efficient actions by concealing intricate details. Effective interfaces veil reality as it truly exists, and instead present a version that serves practical utility. What we commonly refer to as the physical world is, in essence, a significantly simplified representation of non-dual consciousness. This apparent physical world also seemingly encompasses numerous conscious subjects directed towards it. The very process of objectivation, which engendered the false notion of an autonomous physical realm, is the same process that generates the fallacy of assuming distinct forms of consciousness existing within separate bodies. Merely adding mental properties to a non-mental world would fail to genuinely address the earlier mentioned challenges. Questions arise. Where would these properties fit? Must they be labeled with tags like individual X? Yet this prompts the inquiry of why one individual is uniquely themselves and not someone else. The challenge of combining sets of subjects into higher entities also remains. However, these predicaments can be evaded by refraining from adopting the metaphysical assumption that inherently opposes the existence of one physical world to numerous isolated selves. As the theory of conscious agents proposes, the notion of fundamentally detached selves becomes a utilitarian construct that emerges when we confuse the interface's appearance with the authentic reality of non-dual consciousness. What if the universe itself possesses self-awareness and consciousness, essentially constituting an enormous mind? This idea raises questions about its scientific basis and potential validity. Let's explore the evidence and engage in speculative thought regarding this concept. One simplistic viewpoint suggests that since humans are composed of elements originating from the cosmos, and we possess consciousness, the universe might also be conscious through us. This is a common response to the question of whether the cosmos is conscious. However, could the universe potentially possess a consciousness distinct from that of humans or any other sentient beings? This concept has a name: panpsychism. Freeman Dyson, the theoretical physicist renowned for proposing the Dyson sphere, embraced panpsychism and put forward the idea that the universe not only functions through our consciousness, but possesses its own consciousness as well. The question then arises: could this proposition hold validity? To begin, it's crucial to establish a clear definition of consciousness. Giulio Tononi, a neuroscientist and psychiatrist at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, has introduced a framework for measuring the level of consciousness in a system. According to his theory, consciousness relates to the extent of control that an entity exercises over itself or its environment. This perspective draws a distinction between intelligence and consciousness, categorizing them as separate entities. Take supercomputers as an example. They exhibit high intelligence and can consistently outperform humans in activities like chess and Jeopardy. However, they lack autonomous agency and operate based on the instructions given by their programmers. Hence, intelligence and consciousness are discernibly different concepts. An entity doesn't necessarily require advanced intelligence to display consciousness. Using this line of reasoning, one can argue that a tree manifests more consciousness than a mere stone. A worm showcases more consciousness than a tree. A feline embodies a higher degree of consciousness than a worm, and a human encompasses greater consciousness than a feline. Following this trajectory, one could speculate that the ultimate consciousness might potentially be inherent within the cosmos itself. If this indeed serves as the mechanism driving consciousness, then the complexity of an organism's neural structure is intricately tied to its level of consciousness. In fact, researchers have amassed compelling evidence pointing towards the brain as the seat of consciousness. Consciousness appears to arise as a result of highly interconnected and communicative systems, much like the human brain. The brain is composed of a complex lattice of neurons that can transmit both chemical and electrical signals, becoming activated by specific stimuli. Neurons, in essence, are triggered by particular stimuli and have the ability to communicate signals among themselves. It's through the extensive and intricate networks formed by these neurons that consciousness seems to manifest. The greater the complexity of this network, the more evident the degree of consciousness becomes. Is there any semblance of such a neural network or interconnecting system in the cosmos? Indeed, there exists a colossal interconnected arrangement of galaxies in the universe, numbering in the hundreds of billions. This structure bears a resemblance to the intricate network of billions of interconnected neurons within the human brain. However, the notable distinction lies in the fact that each individual cell in our brain can communicate with, or at the very least, transmit signals to, its neighboring cells. Is there a comparable communication mechanism among galaxies? Currently, the evidence suggests otherwise. Nevertheless, it's important to remember that at the heart of most galaxies, a black hole resides. This conceptually parallels the nucleus within a brain cell. The workings within a black hole remain enigmatic to us due to the breakdown of our mathematical formulas at the singularity located at its core. This singularity is the point where the conventional notions of space and time cease to hold, and even Einstein's equations falter. Might there be phenomena unfolding beyond our grasp? The analogy between a black hole and a brain cell would only hold if these entities were somehow interconnected and capable of exchanging signals. In such a scenario, an expansive network comprising countless communicating black holes could function as a massive information processor, potentially possessing intelligence and perhaps consciousness. This theoretical concept might imply a sort of super-consciousness, with potential influence over not just our universe, but even time and space itself. However, pragmatically, we should ask, is consciousness truly necessary for the universe to have reached its current state? Essentially, did the unfolding of events that led to our observed reality require consciousness as a guiding factor? Would our immediate reality be notably different if the universe were entirely devoid of consciousness? Currently, there is no evidence indicating that consciousness is a requisite for steering the processes that led to our present state. Scientific understanding allows for evolution to progress autonomously over vast stretches of time without any external conductor. Regarding the inception of time, could consciousness have played a role in the occurrence of the Big Bang? This possibility cannot be dismissed outright. It's conceivable that consciousness had a part to play. However, labeling this event as influenced by a universally inspired consciousness without concrete evidence is as speculative as proposing it originated from yet-to-be uncovered laws of physics. Furthermore, there is no substantiated proof that events following the Big Bang have been guided by consciousness, as post-Big Bang occurrences can largely be explained within the established framework of known physical laws. And these laws do not demand consciousness to be set in motion. Christoph Koch, a neuroscientist and former professor at Caltech, contends that living organisms possess consciousness due to their capacity to adapt their behavior when faced with novel circumstances. He considers this a method to measure the extent of an organism's consciousness. Consequently, even a tree displays consciousness through behaviors like shedding leaves in winter and defending against diseases. Does our universe fulfill this measurement criterion for consciousness? The universe seems to follow a consistent path regardless of circumstances. The laws of physics appear to apply uniformly across the observable universe, with no instances of deviation from these laws having been identified. Certainly, there are unresolved mysteries, such as dark matter and dark energy. However, these elements exhibit consistent behavior across the universe and adhere to predictable patterns. If the universe were making decisions, we might expect some degree of unpredictability in its actions. Actions that couldn't be solely attributed to predictable factors, but rather to conscious choices. So, what explains the precise structure of the universe, like the finely tuned gravitational constant or other fundamental principles that allow galaxies to form from stars and planets from stellar remnants? Moreover, complex molecules can develop on these planets, gradually leading to conscious beings. Is this the result of chance, or does it stem from a deeper causality? Could it be a form of consciousness that permeates the cosmos, giving it purpose? Those with religious beliefs might argue for a divine role. Advocates of panpsychism might propose that a conscious universe established these laws from the beginning to optimize its value. A materialistic perspective might assert that no meticulous calibration or decision-maker is necessary. In a multiverse with numerous universes and ample time, a universe like ours, conducive to the evolution of intelligent consciousness, is likely to emerge. In our vast cosmos, there are approximately 200 billion galaxies. These galaxies don't distribute evenly due to gravitational forces. They cluster into groups, which then form larger superclusters. Within these clusters, galaxies align along thin structures called galactic filaments, stretching for millions of light years. The spaces between these structures, known as voids, contain minimal matter. This cosmic arrangement somewhat bears resemblance to the human brain. To delve deeper, the distribution of matter in the universe holds some parallels with the connectum, the intricate network of nerve connections within the human brain. In a similar manner, neurons in the brain cluster and communicate through axons, long fibers transmitting electrical signals. This resemblance between the universe